But I'm a different kind of Digimon, made from control spires. Does that mean I have a heart too?
These are all very good questions that I'd love to answer for you, but I'm not very good at this kind of stuff.
It's morphin' time! Shout out to Infinity Wartorn for joining the channel memberships as a Sound Squadron captain. If you want to join channel members, there's lots of perks, starting as low as $1 a month. You can check out the details in the join button below. But now, on to the video. Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of the Digimon Adventures 02 Figurized Standard BlackWarGreymon model kit. This is a little bit more than just a WarGreymon repaint. Of course, I reviewed WarGreymon before, but it's been a while, so we're going to take a look at this kind of fresh. Really nice new box art here. I love the look to it. It's not just a recolor of the WarGreymon box art, which I really appreciate. You can see some glamour shots around the edge on the side here as well. Now, I did get the US release of this, and I'm happy to report they started slapping the sticker on the back here, as opposed to, you know, you think they'd cover the barcode, but they were slapping it like on the side art and stuff. But now it's on the bottom tray, which I greatly appreciate, because that is a lot less intrusive if you're someone who likes to keep the packaging. I usually keep the lids of model kit boxes because of that beautiful artwork, so I'm glad to see the stickers not all over it. So building BlackWarGreymon is pretty straightforward. I watched about 6 or 7 episodes of Digimon Adventure 02 while building him, and so he didn't take too long to build. I was, you know, taking my time, making sure it was done correctly. I always do appreciate the fact that they do translate these instruction manuals now to kind of give you a little background info on sort of the details of the character, which I think is great. But in general, I think it was pretty easy build, all things considered. You know, it did help that I already built the WarGreymon prior, but he was pretty straightforward because it's not a super heavy amount of parts, and it's pretty much just like build arm, build leg, put torso together. You know, call it good at the end of the day, and that was pretty good. And then stickers wise, he only had just a few stickers. There's like 5 numbered stickers. You know, it's just basically the eyes and some of the accent details. Nothing too crazy, which was really nice because you didn't have to do the Brave Shield details on the back for the Crest of Courage. It's just a blank Brave Shield. But I think we've talked enough about the packaging. Let's get to the actual kit. So here's BlackWarGreymon. Once again, I mean, we've seen BlackWarGreymon done in figure form so many times. He is just black, gold accents and a recolor of WarGreymon. We've seen it, you know, with the Digivolving figure, the Digivolving Spirits figure, the D-Arts, pretty much everything is done a BlackWarGreymon if they made a WarGreymon. And sadly, too many times, BlackWarGreymon's been the last release in several lines, but hopefully with this not being a premium Bandai exclusive, and also Figurized Standard being, you know, having the Amplified Digimon line still going, I think we're safe. But BlackWarGreymon's an interesting character because, you know, he's not a dark evolution of WarGreymon, like he's not a darkness version of WarGreymon. He is a separate character that was made by the Control Spires of the Dark Towers from Digimon Adventure 02, and I think that gave him a lot of really good gray area morality to play with, which I think was really, really fun, and I think it's what made him a memorable character, especially because in the English dub he was voiced by Steve Bloom, so he was like really well voice acted. I think there was a lot of appeal to the character because of that, and also on the Bandai side, of course, you've got this guy, and of course you got, you know, this guy. They can really, you know, they can save a lot of budget by pumping these two out, and they have been for decades. What's also cool is that because he isn't an evolution of a Crest of Courage, he does have that one differing detail. Now, on the Figurized Standard WarGreymon, this was sculpted, and then you had to put the stickers in to put in the white accent. So because of that, this is a new piece that is all flat. So that's nice to see that they did change the mold on this one, whereas sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just kind of pretend that there isn't molding there, or they painted the Crest of Courage on. So it was nice to see the sculpted Crest of Courage. Didn't stop us from getting a BlackWarGreymon, but you can see they're basically the same model kit when you're looking at just the straight, you know, build of it. And then here he is with the BlackWarGreymon, who was the D-Art. He was the last D-Art released, actually. A little bit of a cursed character. This one is more video game based. That's why it's got the longer claws, the silver on the inside of the shields. This is definitely more anime-based, but you can kind of see the different approaches that were taken here. And then here we have my first BlackWarGreymon, which was the original Digivolving one. Once again, a straight repaint of the Agumon to WarGreymon, which, as you can see back here, is, you know, there's no Brave Shield. There's just Agumon parts. Kind of amazing we get from not very animation accurate, but did transform into a Black Agumon to very animation accurate. So on that note, let's take a look back at some of the finer details of this BlackWarGreymon model kit. All right, so let's get back to some details here. One of the things I wanted to point out was, just like with all of the Digimon Figurized Standard kits, the use of plastic color. All of these, plastic color, that, plastic color, pretty much everything you see except for the thumbs, and then up here on the horns, the two stripes on the horns, and then the eyes. Everything else is plastic separation, which is really, really, really nice, because a lot of model kits from Bandai get bogged down with like too many stickers. And there also is stickers on the gold part here around the band. I almost forgot because of how clean it looked. So it's really nice to see something like that. And in general, these are really solidly constructed kits, which is really, really nice to see. And one other detail I want to point out, the black plastic is not like a matte black plastic. It's got kind of a sparkle effect on the inside. They actually put, it's not like a wash because it's in the plastic itself, they injected kind of a glitter effect. So it gives him a little bit more texture on what is supposed to be like the chrome digizoid part of his body is actually kind of reflective versus like the part on the inside of the arm, which is more matte. And I think that's just really cool to see because it kind of gives them some different textures. It's hard to see from a distance, but when you have the kit up close, especially if you look at the shields on the back, the shields on the back make it very apparent. When you start looking up close, you can see, wow, there's some really cool texturing there. So it gives them a little bit of a unique look. Let's go over articulation. You know, we did it with WarGreymon, but it's been a while since that video, so let's go for it. We got a ball joint at the bottom of the neck, which allows him to move around. If you move it too much, it will pop out. It's pretty much a solid head from there up because of the plastic construction. His shoulders move out. They are on ball joints. They kind of move forward and back a little. You can rotate him up. He does have a bicep swivel and then nothing in the arm, except I've already done the arm mod. So for those that may have not seen the WarGreymon video, he is designed to just have like elbows and then bicep swivel, and that's it. And I always did not like that. And so there was a mod, which is actually kind of sculpted in. You can do this mod pretty easy. All you got to do is cut the parts apart here. I'll put the footage on how to do the arm mod at the end of the video, but basically all you have to do is just cut the points along here, and then you can rotate the arm, which allows him to get way better poses than when he's stuck like this, which I didn't really like, so I modded it. But it's pretty easy to do. I'll flip the footage in where I showed it off in the WarGreymon video at the end of the video if you want to see how to do that. But it's a real big aesthetic difference from just, inner elbow to actually working elbow. And I highly recommend doing it. It's not too hard to do because it's kind of already molded to do such. He has a ball joint at the waist, but it's pretty much just going to get a little side to side. If you pull it out a little bit, you can get a little forward and back. Hips move out, hips move forward. They drop down. As you can see, they come down so they can move forward further and back, which is nice. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee. It doesn't do too much. And then an ankle pivot. And then on top of that, you can position the Brave shields on the back in however way you want, but they will clash into each other because it's just the design. And then also like WarGreymon, you can also plug in a stand right there in the back of his butt, and you can have him up on a flight. But that's pretty much it for BlackWarGreymon. There's not like a super whole lot to do with him that's not, what on the WarGreymon figure, but they did a really nice job capturing his look. So we showed him next to WarGreymon, but here he is next to Magnamon and Angemon. Plus, here's Metal Garurumon. I don't own the Dukemon Figurized Standard because I have the Figuart. But you can kind of see his scale, just like with WarGreymon here. They're all about the same size, which is, either correct or incorrect depending on how much you care about scale. For me, I'm like, you know what? They look cool together, which I think is like the coolest part about them. And I hope we see more of these because I really do like the standard line. I like the amplifieds because they are bigger, more detailed, but the standard line is more affordable and more anime accurate, and I'm super into that. So he makes a nice addition to the lineup, especially with him and Magnamon, since in addition to him fighting WarGreymon, he fought Vmon a lot in different evolutions. So, they come from the same show, which is really, really nice to see. So whether he's standing there or he's fighting your WarGreymon, BlackWarGreymon is a great kit, just like WarGreymon was a great kit. I honestly do highly recommend it if you do want a BlackWarGreymon. This is probably the best one on the market right now. And I do highly recommend doing that forearm mod because this pose wouldn't really be possible without it, and it looks really cool. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the video. There's not too much else to say with BlackWarGreymon. The next Digimon model kit to be releasing is WarGreymon, and I am planning to pick that up, even though it isn't amplified, and I usually go for the standards. I can't turn down a good WarGreymon. He looks too nice. So stay tuned for that in the future. And you want to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on that video and other Digimon videos on the channel, including a new Super Complete Selection animation Digivice coming very, very soon. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this and help spread the love of the video. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of BlackWarGreymon and what other figurized standard model kit repaints would you like to see. If you would like to support the channel directly, consider becoming a member. It helps us create more cool and awesome videos for all of you out there. Check out the Discord in the link below and our live streams here on Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern for all kinds of Digimon discussion. Also check out my Oscar graphic designer on the Discord and on social media, DarkClaw643. And you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for anime news and more. All right, so I'm going to leave you with the tutorial to do the arm mod if you'd like. And otherwise, this is Soundout saying goodbye. So looking closer at the forearm here, this is the piece you want to take off. This is during assembly too if you want to do this. If you kind of lift that up, it's just only attached a couple ways. We can look at the arm here. So essentially, what we're looking at is that there could be a swivel, but because of the way the kit is designed, these two parts sandwich together. So if you want to give him a wrist swivel, the best way to do it would be to cut along this seam line, essentially just cutting this piece separate. And then once it's inside, it's going to be sandwiched between these parts here. Like you can see the groove. The groove goes around the actual area of the arm. So it's going to not like make it like fall apart because it's still going to be grooved in. And then that'll give him a sort of bicep swivel that will, or a forearm swivel that will allow him to kind of pose better. So I'm going to go do that. So I found the best way to do this is if you detach at the bicep. This is assuming you're not doing this just while building the kit, which you totally could do. You want to like separate these two parts just to make it so you have less plastic to cut through. And then take a knife or like even, I don't know if just standard model kit nippers would do the trick, but you want to just cut in that middle line. So I'm gonna take a look at this and hack it up off screen because this could be a little complicated when it comes to doing it on camera, and I don't want to accidentally break the kit. This is a modification, so just keep in mind you want to make sure those pegs don't go anywhere and then those holes don't go anywhere, so you can still sandwich these together at the end. But it definitely feels like it's sort of in the design for this to be an easy mod. So now that I've got these pieces cut apart, I just used an X-Acto knife and just worked my way around the edge until it came apart. So it was like this. So with this piece coming back on here, you can see that once you attach that, and then you line up the rest of the bicep, and then you can attach it into the arm. So now, instead of it being locked to this position, you can actually turn it. And it still holds incredibly well because it was grooved in there. Sometimes there are Bandai model kits, like a lot of the Gundam kits will have skirt pieces that are meant to be separated on like high grades, and it's just molded in there, but you have to do additional cutting, and the instructions don't really tell you. And this feels like one of those instances, because now, well, he's got a proper working arm. You can bend this way in addition to this way and, you know, inwards. So, yeah, I mean, this mod isn't hard. It's not necessarily a necessity, because, I mean, you can still do a lot with the arms like this, but I really recommend it. It just takes, you know, a little bit of work, a little bit of patience and some care, but honestly, it's worth it in the end for that extra articulation.